Have you ever wondered what kind of money French kings used? From ancient gold coins to the familiar franc, the history of France's currency is as dramatic and complex as the story of its monarchs. Today, we're going on a whirlwind tour through nearly 1,400 years of French history, exploring every dynasty and the coins they minted. Let's dive in. Our journey begins in 481 with the Merovingian dynasty. These early Frankish kings, starting with the legendary Clovis I, used a currency system inherited from the late Roman Empire. The primary coins were the gold solitis and its smaller version, the trimissus. But for everyday transactions, the most common coin was the silver denier. This simple silver coin would become a cornerstone of French currency for centuries. The Merovingian line included famous names like Dagobert I and ended with Childeric III, the last do-nothing king. Throughout their nearly 300-year reign, the solidus, trimissus, and denier were the coins of the realm. In 751, a new power rose, the Carolingian dynasty, founded by Pepin the Short. His son, the great Charlemagne, would expand the kingdom into a vast empire. To manage this empire, Charlemagne reformed the currency system. He made the silver denier the dominant coin and standardized its weight and purity. More importantly, he introduced an accounting system that would define European finance for 1,000 years, the livre, sou, and denier system. 1 livre, or pound of silver, was worth 20 sous, and 1 sou was worth 12 deniers. This wasn't a coin itself, but a unit of account. From Charlemagne to Louis the Pious, Charles the Bald, and all the way to the last Carolingian king, Louis V, this system was the law of the land. The year 987 marks the beginning of the Capetian dynasty. Starting with Hugh Capet, this long-lasting dynasty would solidify the power of the French monarchy. While the livre sou denier system continued, the actual coins began to change. The main currency became the livre tournois, named after the city of Tours where it was originally minted. Alongside, it was the denier tournois. The Capetians ruled for over 3 centuries, with kings like Philip II Augustus, who built much of Paris, and the saintly Louis IX. Towards the end of their reign, under Philip IV, the first significant gold coin appeared, the gold CCU, named for the shield design on its face. All the Capetian kings, from Hugh Capet to Charles IV, used the livre tournois and denier tournois as their primary currency. Next came the Valois dynasty in 1328, a period famous for the 100 Years' War against England. The currency of this era reflects that conflict. The livre tournois and the gold CCU remained in use, but in 1360, a new and iconic coin was introduced, the franc d'or. It was first minted under John II to pay his ransom to the English. The name franc meant free, symbolizing the king's freedom. This was the very first time the word franc was used for a French coin. The Valois dynasty saw powerful kings like Charles V and Francis I, a great patron of the Renaissance. The dynasty ended with Henry III, and throughout their turbulent rule, the livre, CCU, and the new franc were the coins jangling in people's pockets. In 1589, Henry IV founded the Bourbon dynasty, which would become the most famous of all French royal houses. The Bourbons presided over the golden age of French power. The livre tournois continued as the main unit of account, but the kings wanted coins that bore their own image and name. Louis XIII introduced a magnificent new gold coin called the Louis d'Or, or Louis of Gold. The silver CCU was also redesigned. This system, featuring the livre tournois, the Louis d'Or, and the CCU, was used by the Sun King Louis XIV and his successors Louis XV and Louis XVI. The splendor of Versailles was funded by this very currency. The French Revolution in 1789 brought the Bourbon monarchy crashing down. Louis XVI was the last king of the old regime. During the Revolutionary period, France was in turmoil, and so was its money. In 1795, the revolutionaries made a radical change. They abolished the old, complicated livre, sou, and denier system. In its place, they established a new decimal-based currency, the French franc. 1 franc was divided into 100 centimes. This was a revolutionary idea that simplified commerce and finance, and it would become the official currency of France for the next 2 centuries. Out of the chaos of the Revolution rose Napoleon Bonaparte. In 1804, he crowned himself Emperor of the French. Napoleon kept the franc, but solidified its value with the introduction of the franc germinal in 1803. This system defined the franc in terms of a fixed amount of gold and silver, creating a stable and reliable currency that was used across his vast empire. Napoleon's reign was defined by the franc. After Napoleon's defeat, the Bourbon monarchy was briefly restored. Kings Louis XVIII and Charles X returned to the throne, but they didn't return to the old currency. The franc was here to stay. It was a symbol of the new, modernized France, and even the restored kings adopted it. In 1830, another revolution brought the citizen king, Louis-Philippe I, to power in what is known as the July Monarchy. He too used the franc, further cementing it as the national currency, regardless of who was in charge. Finally, we arrive at the Second Empire, established in 1852 by Napoleon's nephew, Napoleon III. He continued to use the franc. The iconic gold coins of his era were often called Napoleon d'Or, harking back to the glory of his uncle. His reign ended in 1870, and with him, the last monarchy in France came to a close. From the silver denier of Clovis to the gold francs of the Napoleons, the evolution of French currency tells a story of power, war, and revolution. Each coin is a tiny piece of history, a relic from the age of kings. The franc itself, born from revolution, would go on to serve France until the introduction of the euro in 2002, ending a monetary story that spanned over 1,500 years. Thanks for joining us on this historical journey through the purses of French kings. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more deep dives into history. Let us know in the comments which dynasty's currency you find most fascinating. See you next time.